Hi everyone. Hopefully this stream is working. I'm working with some new tools via YouTube, and hopefully I am coming through via sound and via video. For those of you who are familiar with who I am, my name is Heather Evans. I'm a self-care and empowerment coach working with empaths and highly sensitive people around the world. And it's been a minute since I've been on YouTube. I've taken a step back. I've been dealing with some personal things on top of the current situation that we find ourselves in globally. I wanted to come on today to share some tips for empaths and highly sensitive people during uncertain times. I know that we are in a moment of high uncertainty, and for many empaths, for many highly sensitive people, I know that uncertainty can be particularly challenging, whether it's uncertainty related to your work, uncertainty related to your health, uncertainty related to family and friends, uncertainty related to what's going to happen next, because the truth is we don't really know what's going to happen next, and we can't really predict where things are going to go from here. And I know that that can be hard. Empaths and highly sensitive people, like at least what I've seen with the clients that I've worked with, and being an empath myself, I know that certainty is valued. Routine, having some sense of predictability can be helpful. And so when we find ourselves in these moments of uncertainty, when we find ourselves in these moments of not knowing, there are practices we can engage in to keep us centered, to keep us grounded. And that's what I wanted to offer you today. This is being posted outside of my typical Monday and Thursday schedule. To be honest, I'm not sure how I'll be keeping up with my Monday, Thursday schedule. I do have some other things happening in my life right now, but I did want to come on today to chat with you, to let you know that I am feeling you, and to let you know that I hope that I can offer a bit of support during this time. The first tip that I wanted to share with you is minimize your information gathering. And not that you shouldn't be gathering information about what's happening, not that you shouldn't be staying current on what is going on around us and how you should be maneuvering and navigating the world around you. But I want to encourage you to minimize where that information is coming from. I highly recommend for empaths and highly sensitive people, I actually recommend this for everyone, to narrow your sources of information down to reliable sources of information. I would encourage you to stay away from sensationalized news outlets. I would encourage you to avoid any sensationalization that might be occurring on social media platforms, and really stick to public health channels. Stick to reliable sources of information where you can find answers to any questions you might have about what's going on and how you can best protect yourself and your loved ones. When we are in times of uncertainty, there can be a flood of information and a flood of not great information that begins to enter our lives. And as a result of that, things can become very confusing, and it can add to the uncertainty even more. When we minimize our information gathering, when we narrow our sources of information, things become much clearer, and there is much less confusion about what steps you should be taking and how you can support yourself and others in your life. As empaths and highly sensitive people, our tendency is to want to support and help others. And so knowing the best ways that we can do that comes from narrowing those sources of information and clearing out any confusion, clearing out any conflicting information. So that's my first tip for you. My second tip has to do with how we nourish ourselves during this time. And one of the ways empaths and highly sensitive people tend to replenish themselves, and I'm speaking from personal experience as well as the experience of many of my clients, is by being out in nature. Now, for some of us, that is still possible. We still have the ability to go for walks, step outside our front door, take some deep breaths of fresh air. For others, that might not be as possible, especially if you're living in a dense urban area or you have been given the information that you should be staying in place and not going outside. I want to offer 2 recommendations based on your current situation. One is that if you have the ability to still go out for walks in nature, if you have the ability to step outside your front door and take some deep breaths of air, I encourage you to do that. Even simply opening up a window in your home, regardless of the temperature, can invite some nature into your home. The second recommendation I have is if you are unable to do those things right now, or if you do not feel safe doing those things right now, studies have shown that if we watch or listen to nature sounds, it actually has a similar impact on our nervous system as if we were stepping outside. So if you have the ability, you can find some walks through nature that people have recorded. There are many of these on YouTube. If you have the ability to download an app, I recommend the Calm app is a great app for listening to some background noise, some nature sounds, being in the forest, being by an ocean. I recommend that as well. Again, listening to or seeing images of nature can help bring our sympathetic nervous system down and allow our parasympathetic nervous system to come online. And again, that parasympathetic nervous system, that's the part of our nervous system that's all about rest and digest, that's all about nourishing ourselves, that's all about allowing our systems to care for itself, to slow down, to take those deeper breaths. The third recommendation that I have right now for empaths and highly sensitive people in these uncertain times is to create certainty for yourself, to build in some routines. Maybe that means you're getting up at the same time every morning or going to bed at the same time every night. Maybe it means you try out some new morning routines for yourself, whether that's a movement practice or the order in which you get things done. I've shared my morning routine with people. It consists of massaging my body with oil, doing some tongue scraping, drinking some warm water. These are things that I do normally, and having these routines in place during uncertain times is helping create a foundation from which I can move from. I don't know what every day is going to look like right now. You certainly don't know what every day is going to look like right now. And so if you have found yourself getting out of normal routine or struggling to find routine, I would encourage you to start small. Pick one thing that you commit to doing for yourself every day. That one thing could be sitting quietly for 5 minutes in the morning. It could be having that warm glass of water to get your digestive system going. It could be committing to texting a friend every single day to check in on them and seeing how they're doing. By inviting small doses of routine into these uncertain times, we are creating grounding. We are creating a foundation from which we can navigate an uncertain period in our lives. And I know that inviting routine into what may feel like a quote-unquote mundane existence right now, where maybe you can't go to work or you can't be with your friends or you can't see loved ones. I know that inviting routine might feel like a task or a chore, but when we invite routine in, we are actually inviting grounding and centering in for the system. And when we can change our mindset, when we can invite it as a grounding and a centering practice, it changes the flavor of the routine that we're inviting in. It changes the intention by which we're doing these things in our lives. The last thing that I would like to invite all empaths and highly sensitive people to do, especially if you are an empath or a highly sensitive person that finds a lot of meaning in helping others, is to think mindfully and intentionally about what the best way for you to be in service to others is. Maybe it's calling someone or checking in on them. Maybe the way that you can be in service is by, if you're healthy and people need, food delivery, maybe that's a way that you can do this, and only if that's safe. Maybe a way that you can be in service is by donating to a food bank right now, or donating to an organization that's supporting hospitality workers who aren't able to work right now. On the flip side, if you're an empath or a highly sensitive person that is accustomed to helping others, but you in fact need assistance or support, asking for that assistance or support. Being willing to reach out, contact people, ask for food delivery, ask for ways that you can seek support if you're out of work. Find ways to support yourself. I was just in conversation with a client of mine, and we were talking about the fact that taking care of ourselves is often seen as selfish. And nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, during this time, taking care of yourself is one of the best things that we can do. Taking care of ourselves means establishing healthy boundaries, physically, emotionally, mentally. It means inviting routines in that are stabilizing, grounding, and centering. It means clearing out the clutter of information and narrowing our sources. Taking care of ourselves means staying connected with the people we love, who support us, who understand us, but doing it in a safe way. I hope that you found these tips for navigating these uncertain times helpful. I'd love to know what you're doing to stay safe, to stay grounded, to stay centered. And if you feel called to sharing that in the comments below, I would love to hear from you. I'm going to invite you to stay safe, stay healthy, stay ignited, and I'll see you soon. Bye.